Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, people went to watch that film, hadn't got a clue what it was about, and walked out of cinema saying it's the best film I ever saw. Why? Because it was the best film their subconscious mind ever saw. They didn't know what. He said, what was it about? Well, a fella gets into a spaceship. Some of them get killed. There's a robot who's a psychopath, and he turns into an old man, then a baby. But where's the sword fights and all? Oh, there's nothing like that. So it's the best film you've ever seen.
I still consider it one of the best films I've ever seen.
It's fantastic. And they go, what do you mean it's fantastic? So is there like sexy alien girls? No, nothing like that. But it's the best film you've ever seen? Yeah. Why? Oh, fuck do I know. Their subconscious mind knew. My outfella was. I remember my outfella saying that to me when I was a kid. He says, you know what the best film I ever saw was? That one, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That was the best film I ever saw. And I says, why? And he says, cause it starts off with monkeys throwing the bones in the air, and it's amazing. And I'm a kid. I was saying, what happens then? And then the bone turns into a spaceship, and they go off to like Jupiter or some leading place. And when they get out there, he turns into the robot tries to kill him, and then they end up becoming a baby. And the music. It was fucking brilliant. Mad, isn't it?
Musical school there.
Yeah, because you're putting yourself into those things, right? Hal was the person at work who harassed you. The boss who was a bastard. The bully at work was Hal. And you remember he went outside to fix the radio, and Hal wouldn't let him in the bump, and he said, "Open the doors, Hal." That's a terrifying scene, that, because he's trapped in space forever. And he blows the hatches open and he allows the suction to pull him back in. And he goes up to Hal, and Hal is going, as he's walking through, it's the whole thing that the bully is a coward. Because as he's walking through to destroy Hal, Hal is going, I know we've had our differences. You see that you're being told, and you remember the asshole at work that was like that. When you confronted them, they changed. They were, because you took the power away from them. And he's pulling him out, and he's reverting to a child, and he starts singing "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and
Daisy.
That's the asshole at work, and he destroyed him. And then with the asshole out of the way, he trusted his intuition to bring him to the destination. And what was the destination? To be reborn as a new kind of human being. And that's at the end. That's why he dies at the end. And and everyone watched that and they believed it. It was almost like a reincarnation story in many ways, that film. It's kind of a lot of Hinduism kind of ideas in that. And then Hindu mythology is like incredible. Like, there's a famous book called the Bhagavad Gita. It's one of the most famous texts in Hinduism. And it's about a prince called Arjuna. And there's a massive battle between two armies. And he rides out in his chariot, and the chariot is always important, because a chariot is almost like the chariot of the gods. It takes you away from the chariot is symbolism of, it takes you to heroic ideas. And he goes in the middle of the battlefield and he looks at the armies and he says, oh, half of them are my friends on the other side, and I'm going to kill them. And the other side, here's my family and friends, and half of them are going to be killed. And then he falls into despondency, and then the god Krishna appears in front of him, and Krishna tells him, it doesn't matter. You have to fulfill your duty. You brought it to this point. It would be much worse if you said no, walked away. You'd lose your respect of the armies. And then he says, it doesn't matter anyway, because reality doesn't exist. There's no such thing as you. You're just a spirit or a soul, and you will be reincarnated in a new life anyway. So it's just a lesson for you. And that was that story might be about 8,000 years old. It's ancient. Yeah, there's loads of them in the chariot. In Irish mythology, the hero Cuchulainn, as he's charging towards the enemy's army, the wheels of the chariot are described as cutting the roots of the deepest trees. Now, what is that? He's destroying his past. The roots of the deepest trees represent the past that he came from. The conservativeness, the things he was locked into, and the chariot wheels are just cutting it apart. I'm in a whole new world now, and if I'm still looking back, and that's all about rumination. You cannot get on with yours. I talked to somebody the other day, and I was saying to him he had some problems with somebody, and I says it's not going to work or get better till you stop ruminating on the past. And that's how these stories would tell these things. They were telling, don't be ruminating on the past, like you may have let somebody down. Okay, you did bad, but you make it up to them. We're back to the sacrifice thing again. Either you apologise and make it up directly, or you do it in some other way if you can't make an amends to them directly. It's that kind of thing. You make amends, and that's the rumination is. You can't be thinking about the old things and the things that held you back. You can't be a good father to your kids if you keep thinking about, oh, my old man was beating me, he was an alcoholic. You have to forget about that. You know, like one of the most poisonous things, and it's one of the biggest problems we've had today since we've lost mythology, is the wife beater syndrome of the guy who beat his, isn't it? Like you hear the story like, oh, I beat my wife. Why? Because my father used to do it and it was all I knew. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's an excuse used by them. And because we've lost mythology, they would, nowadays they'll have these pop psychologists saying things like, oh, well, the reason why little Johnny beats his wife up is because little Johnny's dad beat his mother up. Where in mythology, little Johnny's dad was the dragon he has to defeat, and he defeats the dragon by finding a woman and treating her like a princess, like a goddess. And that's the meaning of mythology. So you'd have a story, if that was in a mythological sense, little Johnny grows up and he meets a girl who maybe she's not popular at school and she's not the prettiest girl, but he puts her on a pedestal as a goddess. You know, and all the things that his father beat his mother for, he does the reverse of them. That's his hero's journey. So dad is an alcoholic, he stays away from drink. This kind of thing. And his father called his mother stupid. He's always telling people, I've got the smartest wife or girlfriend in the world. And that's the mythological resolution of it. It's much healthier, isn't it? And this is why everyone's a victim today. Because they don't want anyone seeing themselves as heroes. Nowadays, like when gay people came out of the closet, it was a good thing. It was a good thing when it first happened. Gay people were hiding, but okay, out of the closet, and you're now a gay person, and that's great. But nowadays, I'm out. I like men. I'm a homosexual. I'm a homosexual. Tell me how amazing I am. Right? And crap. I'm a lesbian. I'm a hero. Why? Because you dyed your hair purple? Okay, that's great. And that's the end of it. But everyone, this is attention seeking, and selfies is part of that. You got an itch you can never scratch. Like that chap Benny was talking about, the gay pride thing. And what they've been all sucked into, corporations. So what have they gained? Nothing. Nothing. You're a corporatist. That's all you are. A rainbow flag was just used now to sell shit to you. There's no mythological thing. And so what happens is you'd have stories where what happened at the end of the Hobbit story, they couldn't go back to the Shire. But it's funny, they changed it in the movie. In the book, when the hobbits get back to the Shire and you see them in the pub, and they're like, we're bored, this is crap, and then they move off. In the book, the Hobbiton is the Shire is attacked by a human race, and the hobbits killed them in a battle. So they get one more. That was written down in a book. I don't know why, for some reason, and that's and quite violently. And Sam, who's kind of the Frodo's pal, the frumpy kind of guy, he's like a merciless killer in the battles. He's like the leader of the army of the hobbits. So the hobbits have evolved to the point where they could protect themselves. And that was Sam's heroes. That's where he learned from the lesson, that the hobbits were not just like How are we in their wait to be slaughtered? You know, they could fight back. They knew how to fight back, and this kind of thing. And I kind of was suspicious when they took a bit out at the end. And nowadays, because no one has everyone gets addicted. Like, you do something great. Am I great? I came out of the closet. Great. Okay. They're not paying me attention. I'm going to cut my dick off now. I'm become a woman. I'm a woman. Am I so brave? You're fucking fantastic. And I'm not putting down transgender people at all. Don't get me wrong. There's real transgender people that do have medical problems. But I'm just talking, there's definitely ones who do it for attention. I don't care what anyone says. Just like I noticed gay guys in college who became gay because it was fashionable. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. And it's all about attention. There's another interesting one we have today, and it's quite a dark one. That says this is why we have to start building our own new mythologies for this world. This is how we'll defeat this thing. Do you ever hear the thing of gay husbands? Have you ever heard about this? Women who are married to men, and the men decide, I was living a lie. I was a gay man. He comes out, and everybody goes, you are a god. Right? But no one ever thinks about the wife that's left behind.
Children.
Okay, the wife, what's she just been told?
Trap the poor guy.
She was nothing. Everything she believed was nothing. She failed as a woman because he became attracted to men. And there's no one out there, anywhere, to help those women. No, and I find that's quite a shocking thing. And they're a growing demographic. Right, so how would we how do we resolve that, right? She was too woman for him. And his lack of manhood turned him into a bitch.
Turn it around. Flip it.
Suddenly, she can say that to her friends. It's just, he was intimidated by me. I was like really sexy, and he was like, oh, don't touch me, don't touch me. And she goes, he became increasingly effeminate because he became afraid of me as a goddess. He wouldn't touch me.
The opposite of what you think.
Yeah, and then he's like, while he's being a hero, women are looking at him going, maybe he isn't such a hero after all.